Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 3. We will explain about designing research proposal. With the member, I'm Anisa Salsabila as moderator and first speaker. Devi Rusdyani, third speaker. Jeliana, fourth speaker. And Nila, second speaker. Next. Okay, for the first material will be explained by me. Qualitative research design. Next. Next. According to Wiryatmaja 2005, there is no standard pattern regarding the format of qualitative research design because first, the main instrument of qualitative research is the researcher himself, so that each person can have his own design model according to his taste. Second, the process of qualitative research is physical, so it is difficult to formulate a standard format. And last, generally qualitative research depart from certain case or phenomenon, so it is difficult to formulate a standard design format. Next, stage in design qualitative research. According to Hamid, there are several stages in making a qualitative research design. As a benchmark, first, raising the problem. Second, determine the research topic. Third, determine the focus of inquiry. Fourth, formulation of the problem. Fifth, principle of problem formulation. Six, conduct a preliminary survey. Next. According to Nawawi, the validity of design show the level of clarity of phenomena of research result in accordance with reality. First is strategies to increase validity. Second, subjectivity and reflexivity. Third, interpersonal subjectivity. And fourth, strategies to increase reflexivity. Next. According to Sutrisno, to be able to increase reflexivity in data collection, researchers can combine several of the following ways. First, use friends who can help simplify data analysis and interpretation. Second, keep a diary containing the date, time, place, person, and activity to connect with participant. Next, field journal are record of change made during the data collection process, reasons for change, and estimate of data validity. Then record the ethical conflict, decision, and action in the journal. Next, data recording management technique, coding, grouping. Then carry out formal confirmation activities such as surveys, main groups, interview. And the last, conducting self-critics by asking questions about roles and activities in the entire research process. Next. Qualitative research system are there's two. First is introduction, and second, study of theory and framework. Introduction is there are background, identification of problem, restricting the problem, formulation of the problem, research purpose, and benefit of research. Then study of theory and framework. There are theoretical review, relevant research, and work. Next. And then there are research methodology. There are research site, research time, research form, data sort, data collection technique, snippets or sampling technique, data validity, and analysis technique. So the next discussion and analysis. Discussion and analysis, there are data description, discussion or analysis, main research finding, and justification analysis. Next. And the last is cover. Cover, there are conclusion, implication, and recommendation. Okay, that's from me. The next material will be explained by Nila. So Nila, the is yours.
Okay, thank you to moderator. I'm Nila Oktavia. I will explain about quantitative research design. The next slide, please. In conducting research, especially for quantitative research, one the important step is to make a research design. According to Sarno 2006, design in a study is like a roadmap for researchers who guide and determine the direction of the research process correctly and precisely in accordance with the goals that have been set. Without the right design, a researcher will not be able to do research properly because the person concerned do not have clear direction. According to Sukardi 2004, in the broad sense, research design means all the process needed in the planning and implementing a research. In this context, the design component can include a research structure starting from the discovery of the idea until the result are obtained. While in a narrow sense, research design means a clear description of the relationship between variables, data collection, and data analysis, so that with a good design, researchers and other interested people have an idea of how the relationship between. The next. The next about qualitative research design are the first is plan to select certain types of information used to answer research question. The second is a framework for detailing the relationship of variables in a study. And the last is blueprint that outline its process from hypothesis to data analysis. And the next slide, please. No, the slide before this, please. According to Cooper and Emory in Muhammad 2008, quantitative research design can be grouped with a perspective. Namely, the first, the condition of the extent to which the research problem has been formulated, or the study can be formal or exploratory. The second is data collection method, or the study can be in the form of observation or survey. The third is the ability of the researcher to show the effects of the variable studied or the two main steps of the research for factor research. And the fourth is a research objective. The five is time dimension. The six is the scope of topic, wide the and research deep. The seventh is a research environment, and the last is subject perfection of the research. Okay, that's all material for me. Thank you. I give it back to moderator.
Okay, thank you to Nila. For the next material will be explained by Devi. Devi, please.
Okay, thanks, moderator. I will explain the material about mixed method research design. Next slide, please. Design is an important aspect of design and is considered in carrying out of research. Research design lets researchers to follow the steps or research procedures that must be followed and should not divide from these steps or procedures. In mixed method, researchers use qualitative research method or techniques in one phase and use quantitative research method and techniques in another phase, or vice versa. While mixed research models where researchers use quantitative and qualitative research in one research process. Therefore, mixed research can be done simultaneously or concurrently, and can also be sequentially in one problem or aspect that wants to be researched, so that more complete and comprehensive results are obtained on a phenomenon or problem studied. Next slide, please. According to Samsu, 2017, the stage in mixed research design are as follows. For the first is problem determination stage. At this stage, the research design is carried out to determine what problems to be studied, the space of the research, the limitation of the research variables, to why the research is done following the argument. And the next step is title determination stage. At this stage, a researcher is faced with a variety of choice. Which of the many problems will be the title? From the choice problem can finally be drawn one or more problems in the form of variables. Quantitative research asks or wants to know the level of influence, the series of correlation or association between variables, or the level of one variable by means of measurement, while qualitative research asks wants to know about the meaning in the form of concepts that are behind the detailed stories of the respondents and the social background studied. Next slide, please. And the next stage is the stage of theoretical determination. Next step, at this stage, before the researchers make the preparation of questionnaires for quantitative research and draw up observation guidelines, methods, and documentation for qualitative research, must first be known and reinforce the theory of who wants to be used. And the next step is variable determination stage, independent or dependent. The research done must depart from the construction of the variables built. This construction is because existing research is done based on existing problems in the field. Determination of variables to find out which variables affect or another. And the last step is the stage of determining the flow of research thinking. The state of determining the flow of research thinking is generally unidirectional, but there is also a reciprocal research flow. In a mixed study, research must be determined which research is done first. As explained by Supriyati 2015, quantitative research is seen as confirmation and deductive, while qualitative research is okay. That's all from me. I give it back to moderator.
Or draw up observation guidelines, method, and documentation. For variable determination stage or independent and dependent. The research done must depart from the construction of the variables. This construction is because existing research is done based on problem in this field. determination of variable to find out which variable all others. Four, 5, the stage of determining the flow research thinking. The stage of determining the flow research is generally unidirectional. There is also a reciprocal research flow in mixed study. Researches must be determined which research is done first. Explained by Supriyadi 2015, quantitative research is seen as confirmation and deductive, while qualitative research is explorative and inductive. Okay, for the next material, we will discuss
investigation. Moreover, theoretical embedding. The next is empirical testing, and the last is process and results of documentation and analysis and reflection, um, namely documentation, analysis, and reflection on process and outcome. Okay, the next slide, please. Next is about classroom action research design. According to Nila et al. 2015, the stage is to design classroom action research are the first one is class action research plan and implementation. It consists of two stages, namely planning and performing actions with four main steps. The first one is identifying problems and then analyze and formulate problems. The third is planning classroom action research as well as possible and implementing classroom action research. The second is data collection and analysis. And